Democratic Congresswoman Bernice Johnson of Dallas, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Wanted to see what your reaction is to President Biden's speech and proposals last night.
Well, I am delighted to hear the proposal like one more time. All of the proposals that he has indicated, we have passed at one time or another in the House. And I hope that we'll do it again if necessary. It is becoming more and more clear that we have got to put some type of controls on these guns. There is no reason to have a war weapon on the street. We know that we've been through a very tough period the last 2 years, and it's been emotionally difficult for many dealing with the virus. So consequently, we have more emotional problems that we have not dealt with. It is unfortunate that young kids have to be afraid to go to school. And so it is time for us to step up. I am very surprised, but very supportive of Senator Carney stepping up and saying he's willing to address the issue. I hope we can work together because it is very important. You know, we can't even keep up with the killings. We are mourning Texas, while Oklahoma and other places are continuing to go through multiple killings. One of my acquaintances, a physician in Oklahoma, was killed by a former patient because he was having extreme pain. So we cannot encapsulate all of the situations that might trigger a person who is already emotionally ill or distressed. We must do something to help control that behavior. And you know, actually they can't kill as many people if they don't have these multiple shot weapons and underage as well. So I fully support moving purchasing of guns. We are a free-flowing gun state to age 21. At least that gives them a few more years of maturity. And I'm really for banning these multi-rifle type guns to be sold without registration. Well, actually, it's no reason to be selling them in the general public because we don't have war unless we create it on our streets.
One thing that we have heard from Republicans and many gun owners is that even if you were to ban the sale, if a criminal wants to get a weapon, they're going to get a weapon. And so they say, why punish law-abiding gun owners for the criminal element? What do you say to that?
I think that is an attitude that we need to change. I do think that people are free to purchase guns. We are wide open, free purchasing gun in Texas. It's worse than the Wild Wild West. And I don't know that anyone is lacking the weapons they need for recreation or whatever, or even self-protection. But when they can flow into the hands of emotional people that are too young to know they need help or don't have some family member to lead them to get psychiatric help, we need to do something. We need to step up as a society and put some type of restraint on the sick people. I would say that everyone that we've read about in the last 10 days, there's been several states who've had to deal with this, but Texas has had to deal with it at least twice with involving children, innocent children at school. We've got to, even if it seems to some that it's taken away some of their rights, we still have to protect our public. We still have to protect our children. And so I disagree that free-flowing weapons are necessary in this peaceful society.
Wanted to ask you a little bit about some of the other laws that have been mentioned, some of the ideas rather that have been mentioned, red flag laws and incentivizing states to create those. Texas does not have that in place. Safe storage laws and universal background checks. Where are you on all of those issues?
I support all of them. Texas has not only been behind in those, in giving attention to those measures, we've also been extraordinarily behind in addressing mental illness and addressing emotional problems. So we can't ignore emotional problems and allow everyone to have a free flow of weapons. We've got to do something in both areas. We have not done well in any area. We tend to contend to give more free flow of weapons. I don't know what and why that is in Texas, but the thing we give no attention to is the emotional support that many of the people in our society need. And no matter what, we cannot mix weapons and mental illness and think that we're going to get away without incidences.
You brought up Senator John Cornyn, who is the lead Republican negotiator, if you will, with Senate Democrats. And, you know, this is going to be likely decided in the Senate, because without getting 60 votes, none of this is going to matter. None of what you pass in the House is going to matter. It's not going to go anywhere. And Senator Cornyn told Politico today, quote, "I'm not talking about restricting the rights of law-abiding citizens under the Second Amendment. I'm talking about identifying people with criminal and mental health problems that are a threat to themselves and others." And he said, "I believe we can get a bipartisan deal done in the public interest." Do you think that there is enough potential areas for agreement that even if there are not more restrictions on gun sales, that those can be voted on and approved?
You know, I'm willing and ready to accept any improvement that we can get and any change other than what we have now. We are in a war zone. What we have now with the free flow of weapons and no psychiatric care, no checking to see whether a person by background or age can purchase a weapon. We need to put some type of restraints there. And I know that we will probably get not as much as I'd like to see, but any steps forward we take will be helpful. So I'm grateful to Senator Cornyn for even entertaining the idea, because we have not had any Republican Texan to support any measure that we put forth so far.
Democratic Congresswoman Bernice Johnson, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.